Hello, good afternoon, konnichiwa, tajahao. This is Roan LS, and thank you for joining us for today.
Hello,
as
good afternoon,
as you would know, I am hosting a vodcast, and the very first episode, we are going to tackle about the old cosplay community. A lot of us came in very late. As for me, I came in 2017. So I really don't know what was the situation before. I've been hearing a lot of stories, but it would be nice if the veterans, or like those who've started way back then, would be able to share their thoughts. And joining me, as you could see before in the thumbnail, joining me would be, alright, I have Tita Sese, who started 2006. Miki Kun Cosplay, you've seen her around with her Genshin, started 2008. And Niccolo Javier, named to be the Austria priest of the cosplay community. So then, alright, and here they are. Okay, now, wait, oh, I look so big here. Alright, ta-da! Alright, starting on. Alright, would you mind introducing yourself, pretty ladies and one gentleman? Okay, can you hear me, ladies?
Yes, I can hear you.
Alright, nice. You're on live, pretties. Alright, would you mind introducing yourself?
Who goes first?
Tita Sese goes first.
Ako talaga. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Sese Ostara. So I've been in the community, well, not exclude, let's not include the years when I started cosplay, but in the community generally since 2000. So, but I started cosplay around 2006. That's when I really focused on, focus and decided to cosplay. But yeah, so that's it. So I've been here for such a long time already.
Okay, and how about you, Miki?
Yeah, so hello. So I'm Miki, and I've been around the cosplay community since 2008. Although I've been around the anime community in general since probably early 2000s, but I've really played 2008. And yeah, I guess that's about it. It's been more than a decade now, and I'm still here.
Okay, how about you, Niccolo?
Ano ulit yung instruction?
ito, napaghahalata matanda na eh.
Ano ba, be? Naman actually white hair ko.
Sige.
So I'm Niccolo Javier of Just Nico Photography. I started cosplaying in 2012, but the first convention I went was 2013. I can't even remember which one it was anymore.
That old.
Am I supposed to say anything?
Alright. Yes, why not? Kasi I think, wait, let me guess. Sukuden?
Oh naman.
Of course, okay.
Ayo, the chef.
The chef. I don't play it eh.
So if I eat, it's in character.
Oh, okay. Niccolo, can you like volume up though your voice, because the sound of the guy at the lowest is a bit low, it says.
Paano volume?
Hindi, rinig naman kita na maayos. Oh, it's okay now. Alright, okay na siya. Anyways, so I've actually prepared some questions as base questions sa atin. That would be, first is, how was the cosplay community during your time? No, let's start yung naabutan yung cosplay community before. Kasi if you'd say 2000, like, diba? Like, we all started different years. So, of course, iba yung mga naabutan yung scene and community. Medyo okay na yung naabutan ko kasi it's a little bit late. But how was it during your time, Tita Sese?
Back there were really small because the community was huge. Like everybody know everybody. Like literally everybody know everybody. Kasi maliit lang talaga.
Oh.
The conventions that we held was really small as well. Siguro at the time that the more crowd and if you yung abutin natin yung set. These were the very first conventions, and Culture Craft probably was the biggest at the time. And pero kasi yung panahon ng Culture Craft, medyo lumalaki na yung community. So yeah, you see Anna Fair, yan, mga yan na atilan ko yan. You mentioned the cosplay community back then was very good, and having, people also yung commission, we have to make our own costumes from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Wigs, like, we have to use hairspray. Either you dye your hair, like, you literally bleach your hair and dye your hair. Contact lenses, hindi rin siya uso back then. So, pahirapan, super pahirapan. So, the cosplayers of the generation of now are very lucky. Actually, they're very lucky. Because everything is available at their disposal. During our time, we struggle to find where to get the fabric, we struggle where to get the wigs. At the time, we have to order our wigs on eBay, and international pa naging bibilan namin. Yung mga local shops na. So, sobrang layo nung pinagkaiba talaga.
Oh, like, paano ba yun? Like, how small is small the community during your time?
Hindi naman less 100. Hindi naman ganun. 100 plus more, ganun. Yeah. Pero, because at the time, what anime is so sparse then that we have to download anime episodes from IRC. I don't know if the generation of today doesn't know what IRC is.
Actually, like, what is that?
Yeah, how do I explain IRC? Nicola, help me out here. I don't know how to explain IRC. So it's like, all of the anime episodes that I used to watch, I either on cable, like AXN, before Animax it was AXN. So all of the anime on cable were on AXN. And then of course your usual anime on channel 2 and channel 7. So that's where we get, so kung ano yung nakikita mo sa local TV and cable, that's the only anime you get to watch. Unlike now.
Oh yeah, kasi for now we have like DVDs, we have internet, so parang okay na okay pa siya in our time.
Exactly. And dial-up pa nun, right? Dial-up. Can you imagine watching streaming dial-up? Hindi kaya.
No, wait, you lost me there. What is dial up? No, literally, I'm sorry. You lost me there.
Where is, your internet is connected to your landline or your phone. So if you're using the internet, no one can call you via landline. If someone calls you, your internet will get cut off.
As in?
And you can't, ano bang normal speed ng yun? Like 54 Mbps, right? Mga 12 Mbps. It was like 2, 1, 3 Mbps, guys. During the time.
Alam ko wala pang MBTS yun yung time na yun eh. I remember mine being nasa
Yes.
bytes lang talaga eh. Bytes lang.
Yes. And remember, Miki, we used to use those prepaid cards? Yung prepaid card for the internet? Like, we have to load. We have to top up our internet.
Hindi ako makarelate dyan.
Wow, Niccolo, why?
Like, postpaid naman internet ko eh.
So,
Oh, rich kid.
Nakahalata na kung saan ako nakatira.
Oo nga eh.
Yeah. But yeah, during this time, we have to download everything. We can't watch it like live streaming or streaming per se because hindi kakayanin ng internet.
actually, ano lang, ito just fun fact about the dial-up. If you actually search it on YouTube, maririnig mo yung like that very distinct dial-up sound na ang ingay alaga.
Oo, sobrang ingay.
Oh my gosh.
Try nyo siyang i-search. Like, if hindi kayo umabot sa dial-up, pwede nyo siyang gawing alarm, magigising kayo.
As in,
Naka-under lang yan pag matanda ka na eh.
this like I think the worst thing like that I remembered when it comes to watching anime is when how do we say that, like pag nanonood ka sa YouTube, yung isang oras mo, isang episode lang kasi 30 minutes is like yung opening song nagbabuff. Yun lang talaga yung naabutan ko, like the worst part na experience ko, yun lang. Pero like the dial up tone, medyo vague. Tapos I'm kind of curious with the conventions before, how small is small? Kasi when I came to the community na like it's really crowded na.
Lang, you just need like one hall. That's it. Kasama ni merchandise, the stage, the cosplayers, and at that time, in the cosplay competition, I remember during Culture Crash, iba ngayon sobrang dami, right? At the time, less than 100, malaki na yung 100 na participants during that time in a cosplay competition. And from that one,
Mhm.
yeah, kasi I remember, parang may preliminary pa. This from Culture Crash, just wait, how I remember it. There is like a preliminary, so, all the solo cosplayers, judge mo muna sila, and then if you pass, then whoever passed that preliminary will be the one who moves off the cast. And you have to prove that you made your own costume. As I said, it was a different time. Like, you cannot call yourself a cosplayer if you're not making your own.
So like really the discrimination during that time, because I can only imagine kasi like ang hirap not everybody can make their own costume, 'di ba?
Exactly.
So parang it's not
Time, people are so afraid to actually voice out that they had it. So, yeah, someone made the costume for them. Because it was such a huge discrimination that if you're not making your own costume, then you're not a costume.
so basically for us who do not know how to sew or to make our costume, we are not considered as cosplayers. We're just like con attendees.
Yes, like something like that. Or you cannot compete or something. Because not you can compete if you have it commissioned, but you have to declare that you didn't make it.
Oh. Okay, pero it's a little bit sad for like, so what if like you joined, kasi what I heard is like during competitions usually is 'di ba I think my after like everybody competed, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. Tapos sa harap mismo ng judges, sa harap ng public, they're going to tell you kung ano yung na-observe nila during your performance. Is that true?
I've never, I'm not like in Bongo in joining competitions. Like I've only joined like 2 years, so I can't really say that. But based on my experience, it was an international competition. AFA, we were after nung Aloja at the time. Me and my partner. There was a preliminary, so they observe or they judge the costume backstage now. And yes, there was an interview. After the performance, but this is international scene, so iba yung local natin dito. In the
Mhm.
international scene, they would ask, they ask how it was made, how long it was made, and how long did we practice for our kids and things like that, and why did we decide to choose that certain series to perform on stage. On local, unfortunately, that's the reason why I can't remember much because when I attended that I go around and I don't really pay much attention to what's going on in stage because there's so many things that I want to do. So, as far as I know, for the solo competition, it's like just a catwalk. There's no, as far as I remember, there's no interviews or something. Miki,
How about you, Miki? No, the time that you went into scene, how was everything then? Kasi it was like 2006. That was like 2 years after na, diba?
Oh, pero actually, it isn't really that much different. Hindi naman siya masyadong, hindi naman ganun ka-drastic yung change. I mean, same with the wigs, the hairstyle, makeup wasn't a big deal. Tapos, ando din siya, yun nga, yung the colored hairsprays were also the norm. Mahirap maghanap ng costumes. Kasi nga, you have to make your own. So, it's very similar, I guess. Ang pinagkaiba lang niya siguro is, yun yung time na nagsa-start ng kumbaga, lumabas yung mga, the Taobao brands. Like yung, wait, what's that brand? Tagal na nung brand na yun eh. Fantasy Sheep.
yes, cheap. Oh my God, the most popular wig brand at the time.
Oo, sobrang ano niya, popular ng Fantasy Sheep nung time na yun. Na if you have Fantasy Sheep, sobrang like social kang cosplay. Ganun siya.
Mahal. Mahal siya.
Tapos, when it comes to competitions, kasi the first time I actually joined a competition was 2013. 2013. So, medyo, ano na siya, like 5 years after I started. So, I can't really say much about the competition side nung 2008 until 2013. Pero I think it's probably similar din kasi naalala ko na konti yung nagka-catwalk. Tapos, the prices were more on cash. Parang gano'n. Kasi ngayon,
Yes, hindi din siya ganun kalaki, diba? Hindi, it wasn't that big before.
yeah, pero nung time na yun, that's already a big amount of money. Like, syempre, compared to now. Pero ngayon, like, prices are also high up there.
Yeah, kasi last time is like, di ba, like, right now na masyadong, like the pandemic, ang nakikita kong prices, like, it goes $50K to $3,000. Ganun kalaki.
Yeah.
How low was yours before?
Well, syempre, iba yung market, I guess. Syempre, may inflation na ngayon. And all. Pero I think, Sese, no, nasa mga 1,000 din.
1,000, 2,000. Malaki na yung 2,000.
Yeah, mga ganun.
Oh? Malaki na yun?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time.
Oh, what was like, so parang it's more of a hobby lang talaga.
Oo.
Yung pinaka-latest na dumating, si Niccolo.
Hello?
Yes.
Ano?
Yung pinaka-latest na dumating, ano na yung naabutan mo?
Ano yung naabutan ko? Yung unlike kay Sese na yung you will be, diba, hindi naman ostracized, pero okay lang naman mag-MTO, okay naman bumili ng used costume, yung wig mo kahit pangit, okay lang din, or kahit na wag ka na lang din mag-wig. I'm like the worst person to be asked these questions because when I entered, it's just where can I get a costume? Okay, search ako sa Facebook. Okay, dyan, mura lang pala. Sige, pagawa na lang ako dyan. Email ko yung reference ko. Get the thing after 2 weeks.
So, you have like, during your time, may shops na?
May mga na-establish na MTO shops, yeah, and then I think some people would order from wherever.
Buhay na ang online shops during your time.
Facebook shop.
Compared with Miki and Sese, wherein non-existent sila.
I suppose so, yeah.
How bad was that? I mean, for me who came in 2017, we're kind of babied in a way.
No, you kind of have to look for it pa, di ba?
No,
And then
kasi,
check on, hihingi ka pa ng reference para makita mo kung is this the kind of quality you want, and then there's the 25% chance na yung makarating sa'yo, pangit.
yeah, pero kasi by 2017, we have a lot of shops na. We already have MCS, we have MCS legitimacy check. So was like, it's easy. Yeah, during my time, medyo okay na. Listening to like Sese and Miki's time, parang for me na-overwhelm ako and it makes me feel sad wherein kung wala kang time to create your own costume, kahit na like you do a very simple thing, di ba? The usual simple uniform. Pero pag hindi mo yun ginawa, hindi ka matatawag na cosplayer.
Yes, unfortunately.
It's so sad that it makes you wanna cry na kasi unlike ngayon, minsan isusuot pa nung iba hindi nila kilala pero matatawag silang cosplayer compared to your struggle before, di ba?
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
know what year it started when people started accepting the idea that having your costumes washed or commissioned is okay. But I do remember one of my Singaporean friends, si Kaika, Cosplay Chronicles, if you remember her. Cosplay Chronicles or Kaika, she made a blog post, uso pa mga blog posts ngayon, that she lamented that because a lot of the cosplayers are also during the time when we started working and everything else, you don't exactly have the time to sew your own. So she realized that it's okay. It's okay that you buy your costume, you have it commissioned, because in the end, you're still cosplaying, you're still dressing up as someone else, portraying a character. And in the end, the most important thing is they're having fun. So who cares if you made it? Who cares if you had it made? Right? So when she made that blog post, and at the time, because she was kind of big also in the cosplay community, people started to realize things that, yeah, it's okay.
So, it was only during that time, nung naglabas lang siya ng vlog. So, basically, if she did not brought out the vlog, kawawa kami ngayon. Like, we're...
Not necessarily, not necessarily. I mean, at the time, I can't say for other countries, or so, but Kaiko was very well known back then. And then, she had a lot of readers at the time. So, it made people think also. It made people think. And after that, there are a lot of cosplayers who also agreed to that sentiment. And eventually, ito na, we are already at an era where it's totally fine, to be honest, to have your costume commissioned or bought in Taobao.
Oh, that's nice. But how about this? Like, since you started, like, di ba dati, like, the word cosplay is quite vague and the only people who knows about it are the people in the community. So, as someone who started on that earlier stage of the community, how, like, what were the struggles that you experienced while starting? Okay, during the time you started.
Okay. Because the word cosplay has always been stigmatized and connected to, sorry for the word, and Japanese adult videos. So, there is a struggle back then that if you're cosplaying, you get sexualized a lot. That if you're cosplaying, they think you're not. So that was also a struggle. It was also a struggle that you get judged as a weirdo also, because I mean you're walking around in a shopping mall dressed up as a cartoon character, anime. So of course people would look at you really weirdly. I remember there was this convention, I think it was Odeon, and then if you remember in Mega Mall, they usually have church there at the fifth floor, right? Yeah, so there was nagmimisa sila doon, may simba, right? And then I remember there was this group of cosplayers, I think they were cosplaying Trinity Blood. So there were, I'm trying to Trinity Blood, but it's a series where naka-black kasi yung mga cross and stuff, and they look intimidating or scary, if I might say. And so they're in group, right? So they were walking, and the people in the church, makikita sila, they're like, yung tingin talaga, grabe sinundan. And parang parang na-shook sila sa nakita nila. So imagine being stared like that constantly. Right? And at least now, pag may nakita silang ganon, okay na eh. They knew, okay, may cosplay or something.
How about you, Miki? What were the struggles that you've experienced starting up?
Yun. Sa akin din actually, it was also yung part niya na being thought of as a weirdo, walking sa mga malls. Tapos, there was this one time na I remember noon, dun sa food court ng Mega Mall. Tapos, kakain lang kami noon. We were just gonna go eat our lunch, ganyan. Tapos naman noon, there was this family, I guess, na medyo tanda ko siya eh, kasi very distinct yung memory na yun. So, there was this family, they passed by our table, tapos we were just eating, tapos parang ang sabi, ay, mga weirdo. Parang ganun. So, I think most of it is actually being called weird or people who scrutinize kung ano yung hobby kasi nga they don't know about it. Tapos, there was also a time na, although ito nasa mga ano na to, this is roughly, siguro mga 2014 na naata to. O ganun. Well, actually, hindi naman. Basta mga early 2010s, I had an office mate, nanay siya, she's a mom, tapos yung anak niya is also into cosplay or nag-uumpisa na. Tapos naman nun, without knowing that I was a cosplayer, the mom was going on and on about how cosplay was a bad influence to the youth. Tapos naman nun, until I told the mom, and then sabi ko, tita, I just wanna know, kasi basta I was a well-respected person dun sa office. So sabi ko, tita, I just wanna say na I've been cosplaying for a good amount of years now. Gumanon. So basta parang generally there is that notion that cosplay is a bad influence to the youth. Parang ganun. It's a weird thing na aksaya siya sa pera. And I think until now naman, the stigma is still there. It's just more acceptable now. Kasi nga, it's more mainstream. Pero aside from that, the other thing is, it was so hard and it was so difficult looking for a place to have your costume made. Kasi ako, I can only do like very simple props. So, sewing wasn't really a skill that I was able to cultivate kahit na sobrang tagal ko na sa community. So, sa akin nun, at least in my experience, it was very difficult trying to have a costume made. I tried making mine once. Nangyari, I had to use glue gun for everything.
Yeah, pahirap talaga before. Like, you have to know like a mananahe or a seamstress to have. I started with having my costume commissioned and eventually I realized yung gastos din kasi syempre magbabayad ka, right? The labor and stuff. So, I was lucky enough.
If you want to have your costume made to order, pupunta ka sa isang normal seamstress or normal tailor. So sila, when they see the design, they start thinking, this is very complicated. So they will charge you a whole lot of extra for it. So ano siya? Mahal siya in a sense na it's mainly because hindi sila familiar dun sa concept of the costume. Parang sa isip nila nun, this is a costume, so this is expensive. Parang
Yeah. And there's, for me at the time, kailangan ko talagang bantayan yung seamstress. Kasi nga, sanay sila sa yung regular na tahila. And some costumes, hindi normal minsan yung pattern.
Yes.
Alam niyo naman ako, I like cosplaying characters na hindi normal yung pattern. Like, how do you, right?
Excessive design, yeah.
Yeah, the design and all. So, kailangan mong bantay. I remember after work or after my pastoral, I would go to the seamstress at magbabantay na ako doon like, for like 2 to 3 hours babantayan ko talaga.
How about you, Niccolo? Were there like, kasi like, accepted na ba or like, do people know the word cosplay during the time that you started?
Ano yan?
Do people know the word cosplay the time you started?
Yeah. Like it's a not naman hindi pa siya totally accepted na hobby, pero alam naman na what is cosplay na nung pumasok ako.
What were the struggles as someone who came in mid?
Struggles. Wala akong maisip na struggles eh. Hindi naman hirap na ako maghanap ng quality na mananahe eh.
It's more on the quality.
Sa'yo naman nung
the acceptance of parents. Like,
I didn't experience being called abnormal until like last year.
But bakit? Wait, parang ang latest na nung last year,
No, kasi apparently my first girlfriend broke up with me because cosplay was abnormal to her and I was a cosplayer nung latter end na ng relationship namin.
That's, wow. So parang it's not really just the family, it's not just people around you, but it's also like the people you're in a relationship with.
I guess so. My family is totally, ever since when, supportive of whatever the heck I do. Because we're all abnormal, so it's fine.
So like chill lang. So how about let's have a comparison. Now since as Tita Sese said a while ago also with Miki is there were like only few people. Like you know who is who, right? So what were the things that you missed before the new community?
Drama.
Wait, isn't it? I think masyado na yata madaming drama on our time. I think mas peaceful yung sa inyo, no?
Less drama, to be honest. Kasi if you're going to... Kaya hindi natatawa ako sa mga drama ngayon. Because for me, it's so petty.
Oh.
It's really petty, guys.
Bugan sa parking. No. Like, what were like, so parang, how was it? Ano yung atmosphere ng less drama? I can't imagine kasi when I entered, ang dami na.
Of course, I mean, there is drama. Okay, it's less drama, less politics. There we go. Because since everybody knows everybody was friends.
Oh. So, like, unlike ngayon, it's very competitive eh.
Very, very competitive.
How about you, Miki? What were the things that you missed before?
Same yung less drama talaga. As in, if magkakadrama man, back then, it's a big deal. As in, talagang issue siya. Hindi siya yung tipong like comparison ngayon na yung mga kasi ngayon na typical drama is like, oh, she cosplayed this, tapos compared to this person, let's compare cosplayer A to cosplayer B. Tapos yung, oh, hindi ako sikat, I'm not famous enough, supporting me. Kasi ganun ngayon, di ba? well, the typical dramas, bale. Before, if it's gonna be drama, as in there is mas malalim, I guess, talagang like, legit may nagsisiraan, ganun.
Or
Or
may kilalang manyak sa community, right?
Yeah,
Or
That everyone should be aware of.
yeah, so these are like people na, kumbaga, these are issues of significance, kumbaga. Yan siya. So ngayon, although meron pa rin, I wouldn't really say na insignificant lahat ng drama ngayon. Pero, ano pa din siya, there is more drama na ang babae compared to drama na talagang kailangan mo tuunan ng pansin.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
ano siya, siguro another thing na namimiss ko is actually the friends that I made from back then. Kasi nga ngayon, a lot of people, marami sa batch ko, sa batch ni Sese, na they are married, they have families of their own. Tapos naman nun, parang nag-migrate na sila sa state or another country. Ganon. So, I really miss them. So, these days, actually, itong pandemic, na I've been making an effort to actually reconnect with these people. Ganon. So, I'm actually fortunate na, they still remember me.
You can actually ask, this person wants to be friend with me, kumusta siya? You can actually ask people. Unlike now, someone is like sending a request or like someone is trying to message me. Tapos, you're gonna ask a common friend. No, friend ko lang siya sa Facebook but I don't know them personally. Alam mo like, how am I supposed to know if this person is good or not, diba?
Yeah, so it's really difficult to discern who is who you can trust. There you go.
Yeah. How about Niccolo na like, Niccolo is like the friends of everybody. Friend ng toxic at friend ng non-toxic. So actually like, ang ano niya eh. How? Wala ka ba?
Ano ako, Nexus?
Ah?
Ano ako, para akong Nexus of everything.
Actually, kasi nagugulat ako. Kasi he's like, uy, pero parang sabi ng ganito, ganyan. Pero he's still friends and he still interacts with these people. Pero compared now, kumusta naman yung community during your time? May mga na-miss ka ba during your time? Or wala?
When I entered, it's the ease of making friends na. I think like Miki and si Sese said mentioned na it's when you make friends, it's just because friend. And now medyo hindi mo alam kung iba-backstab ka 4 months later for whatever reason.
Oh my gosh, parang I kinda regretted that I started very late because of school. Parang sana it would have been nice if I started earlier. Kung sabi niyo nga, it's easier to make like real friends you could. Kasi I noticed that the friends of Tita Sese and Miki and also Niccolo was yung solid na friends na until now were the friends that you had talaga in the beginning per se. Friends, so where are we friends? But anyways, no, those were like a little bit of the negativities. How about like the positive development naman? Aside from the shops and the easier access to almost everything, were there like positive developments to the current community?
I guess
Kahit isa lang. Make me feel
I
good.
mean, may acceptance na. May acceptance na that cosplayers are not weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not weird anymore. There's definitely an acceptance, and since it's already mainstream, people are open to it. And people are getting interested and curious about it. And the conventions are getting better and better. The programs are getting better and better. The prizes are getting better and better. The costumes are getting better and better. So yeah, there is a lot of improvement. I mean, just disregard the negativity. I'm actually happy where the cosplay community is right now because one, it's because sad nga lang pandemic eh, so super sad na ang pandemic. Pero kasi the community is getting bigger and bigger, and that's actually a double-edged sword. Actually, it has its negativity and positivity, but I want to look at it as a positive side. At least people can see that cosplay as a hobby is not a bad hobby. It's a hobby that you can be very, very passionate about.
so many new people, young and old, ganun siya, like, as in, the creativity that is being showed by everyone is immense, it's intense. Tapos yung nga, parang seeing all these people dish out their creativity, like how, lalo na ngayong pandemic na to, as in, I really feel like a lot of people, a lot of cosplayers are learning to be more creative, especially with their own home setups, their own photography. Like, how the heck are you going to take your own photos in this pandemic when you cannot go out? Diba? So, ano talaga siya? So, parang ako, personally, I learned how to make my own shooting space. Like, this is my shooting space. This curtain here. So, ito lang siya. So, parang how am I gonna use this little space in order to shoot? Parang ganun siya. So, there's a lot of, there's a lot of creativity that is being learned and developed by everyone in the community. Not only, kasi di ba before noon, yung photographers, they take the wheel. Di ba?
Okay.
So, ngayon, parang cosplayers are also starting to learn how to use their experiences. Parang, alam mo yung tipong, kahit na cellphone camera lang, like, parang, oh, kaya ko pala. Like, pwede rin pala. Although, syempre, it's not going to be better than actual photo shoots. I miss those so much. Pero,
I miss photo shoots. It's been a long time. Yeah.
it's been a long time.
May kita lang ka lang, ha?
Ayoko ito! Magkakalapin kayo!
Ang layo mo kasi, Niccolo. Hello.
Basta, ang hirap kayong pumunta dyan galing dito sa Laguna.
Hello!
Hello!
Quezon, Makati.
Hello, ang hirap. Oh my God.
Pumunta ngayon dyan.
Kumusta ang baga?
Pero yun, anyway, so going from there, ayun din, parang, yun nga, the passion is overflowing. Siyempre, naman, yun nga, sabi nga ni Sese na parang if you just disregard yung negativity, sobrang daming passionate ngayon. And it's siya, parang as someone who has been around for more than a decade, it's always a very, parang, medyo, ang heartwarming lang. Kasi parang feeling ko ang dami kong nakikita mga bagong baby. Ganon.
Yeah.
Ganun siya. Tapos you see them all grow and develop na parang, aminin na natin, mga tita-tito na talaga tayo sa community na to. So,
Grabe, oo, yung mga bata na start na cosplay ngayon. Like, I remember na, probably, MJ. When I met MJ, she was in high school, guys. She was in high school, now she's working. And I'm like,
I didn't do that.
alam mo ba, like, short sharing, kasi meron din kasi akong like this group of friends, I met them in college, nung college pa sila, working na ako noon. So, parang na-meet ko sila, if they're watching this, if they're watching right now, they know that I'm referring to them. Pero noon, tawag dito, parang I met them, first year college pa lang sila, and now they're working na. Tapos
hindi mo mararamdaman mo yung edad mo na eh.
How about you, Nico? may mga ano naman yung positive changes during your, kasi you came in mid eh. Was there like changes na positive naman during your time?
Ano ba yan? Hello?
Yes.
Positive changes?
Mm-mm.
I can't really think of anything eh.
Wow! Grabe! As in, yung lamit mo.
I don't really care about much eh. I mean, what? I go to a con just to have fun, just to hang out with whoever. And at the same time, of course, avoid any issues as much as possible.
Yun eh, believe din talaga ako sa pagiging walang pakialam minsan ni Niccolo. So like, he does not feel the toxicity and negativity, which is actually a good, like, a good attitude.
Online.
Mm-hmm.
Hanggang online lang yung toxic talaga or mga binubulong sa akin ng mga kung sino-sinong gustong pumili ako ng side. I will not name names but some of them are abroad already.
Oh my gosh. Because I was asking that and here comes Neo. I just wanna read his comment kasi like ma-issue tong Neong to eh. Positive change. May mga asungot na nasa abroad na. I was like, what? Neo? Yeah, I think kasi may mga like people who were into like ang daming na issues. I think naglaylo sila. It's a positive change. Diba? And here's thing, I just want to like ano yung sabi ni Lance, the comparison of cosplay before and now. I think it's really true. Dati hala ang weird ng cosplay and now if they see you like may pa-picture po, that huge difference. Na before they don't want to talk to you pero pag nakita nila sa kahit na even if they don't know the character, they would actually ask na pa-picture. So I think there's this one thing that I'm very, very curious about. Kasi your culture before is very, very different. The culture now, and especially now na pandemic. Anong culture that you had before that you want na ibalik? What culture would you want to bring back? Niccolo?
Parang classroom lang.
Ha, ma'am?
Hindi, yung ano, so, I remember back then, so like now, people are more, they like to be, perfectionist more the goal. Then, before na, basta lang naka-costume ka. I mean, as close to whatever. Kung ano man yung trip mo, yun na okay na yun. Ngayon, it's more, pag maganda, yun yung papansin ng tao, so yun yung cause na rin na mga insecurities of other people, ganun. For someone like me na wala pa rin akong pakialam.
Oh.
But,
yeah,
this
I
is
think that's
from
a very
2013.
nice culture. Na parang like, not a lot of people. Kasi I think ngayon is like, kung hindi kompleto yung set mo, ay, alam mo yung imbes na i-appreciate, uy, nag-cosplay, rather than seeing that, what people see now is kung ano yung kulang.
Actually, oo. Like, kasi before, diba, since we have trouble looking for yung mananahe and pahirapan na makakuha ng reference photo, at the time, it's okay not to be that too accurate. Lagyan namin ng effort. Lang, maibalik din yun. Kahit even if you're just buying or having it commissioned, lagyan mo pa rin ng effort, like a personal touch. Yun. Para maramdaman mo yung na kahit pa paano, I'm cosplaying.
Yeah, para may feels. Kasi I think before, there's still the reason na ang hirap, mahal ang lahat, and it's very hard to look yung cheap ones. Ngayon kasi you can find second hand, mga ganun. Pero I kinda like nung sinabi ni Nico na it's the fun culture na, of course naman, it's on you na cosplayer na you don't just wear something. It's also fun to put an effort, diba? Pero it's the mentality when you go out and when you take photos. It's not when, no, I have to do this because I want people to look at me so that they can pay for this and stuff. Parang yun na yung nagiging goal mo rather than I'm going to have fun. If people appreciate it, thank you because I did my best. Kaya ako na-appreciate. Rather than saying I'm going to do my best because, alam mo yung baliktad? You're doing your best not for fun but for appreciation. Pero I kinda like the fun culture. How about you, Miki?
Mawala na rin minsan yung fun culture eh. Like, diba? Parang nakakalimutan ng tao that cosplay is supposed to be fun.
Yes. Which
It's not supposed to be toxic. It's not about comparing yourself. It's not about who has the best costume, who is more accurate, who did it best. It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
So sa akin siguro, it's like a culmination of everything that was said. Tapos dagdag ko lang doon is yung namimiss ko yung yung openness ng community. Kasi like before, like you can approach anyone, tapos naman, although it's not going to be like pack instant friends, hindi naman ganun. Pero siya, parang it's more open, tapos mas maraming mga tao na you approach them, tapos kunyari nun you appreciate the same series, and you just gush over it. Kasi ngayon parang yung kumbaga, kunyari like, okay, even if we like the same series, pero for example, I see this person na may same costume, ganyan. So parang medyo, alam mo yung, there is this instance na parang kahit gusto mo silang kaibaganin, pag nilapitan mo na sila, makikita mo na they're putting a wall between you and them. So yun lang siguro, sana, namimiss ko lang yung...
Kaya kasi, parang pag may ito kasi na-experience ko na rin to eh. I remember cosplaying Blue Rose from Tiger and Bunny, and there's this someone, I'm not gonna name this person, but there was this someone na naiinis. Parang, ginagaya ko daw lahat ng cosplay niya. I'm like, huh? Huh? Parang galing yun? Kasi, nagkataon lang siguro that we're liking the same character. Tapos parang siguro nagkataon lang din na sunod-sunod yung... Kasi, at the time kasi nakakasabay pa ako sa uso eh. So, nagkataon yung mga uso at the time, naka-cosplay ko din. So, parang, there shouldn't be that kind of mentality na parang, pag na lang, oh my God, your insecurity is showing. If you're insecure, huwag mo ibato sa akin.
Yes, and I think the gatekeeping culture ngayon, which is not, yung parang sabi nyo nga, pero sa fandom din, like the gatekeeping culture na dapat, yung hindi ka up sa fandom na to even if you really, really like that fandom and they just want to, kami lang, within their group. So,
Sa akin, I think when it comes to gatekeeping, it actually also depends on the fandom. Kasi like, for example, sa Danmei, kasi diba, like, you and me, Roan, we've been into
we're
Danmei for a
Danmei.
while. So parang sa Danmei fandom, we're relatively sweet. As in, at least my experience with the Danmei fandom has been very sweet. Wala naman ako, I never got into any issues with people. Kasi the Danmei fandom is a very small group. You know? So parang almost everyone knows everyone sa Danmei fandom. So ano siya, parang I feel like, at least kunyari, if the fandom is like Danmei, ano siya, kumbaga, it's really generalized na lahat ng na parang the cosplay community as a whole is like very dramatic and very toxic. It really depends on the fandom you're in and the circle that you're with.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
I agree with that. Kasi depende talaga sa fandom. So, maybe that's also the reason why hindi din ako nahumali na isang fandom lang. Kasi I know how toxic it can get.
yeah, kasi the more you invest on one fandom, pag ininvest mo lahat-lahat yun, and when it becomes very toxic na, alam mo yung wala ka ng fallback na ibang fandom, and it's gonna hit you very hard. Yun din siguro yun. Tapos like, it's so funny because like, I'm saying like on the chat, yung looking for second-hand contact lens.
Anything that you put in your eye, as in lalo na that is not your skin, like anything you put in your mouth, in your eye, huwag kayo bibili ng brand ng second hand. Like,
Yeah.
that's you. Magkakasakit kayo dyan.
Exactly.
May na-mention about gatekeeping, may naalala ko, I think it was 2015 or 2016, na not just related to fandoms lang, it's also, there's like gatekeeping becomes a thing when also you're talking about cosplay gigs.
Oh,
Pag may pera na
yeah.
din, may ganun din na napapasok eh.
That also, I heard that. But I haven't, delved into that.
Yun yung, Nico, you have to pick a side. You can't keep sitting on the fence. I don't want to pick a side. You're all my friends.
Walang ganun eh.
Well, nakaka-relate ako din sa I do not want to pick a side. Nakaka-relate ako dun.
Yung one. No, pero I mean for like yung sabi ni Nicola na gig, I think it's really not fair if like sila din lang and there are other people who are like sana i-open for the opportunities for the other ones who are also good.
Ay, wait. Can I react on something? Nakita ko lang kasi si Ping. na ganun- Underwear.
Looking for meron ba? I've never seen one.
Siguro yung mga like, probably the lingerie.
Iwan! Oh my God! Iwan! Ano ka ba?
Wait. I think it's more on like for the costume, kung yung costume was like lingerie or something, tas inad na lang yun.
Siguro, ganun. But ako like, I've seen it around, pero I'm
Really?
not sure, does anyone really buy it? May bumibili ba nun? So, I
Really?
don't know.
Jesus! Seriously? Oh my God!
I've never seen it. Kasi like, I've seen the second-hand contact lens that was posted. Kasi me and my friends also talk about it. Pero I've never seen the underwear one.
May nakita ko dati like sa yung marketplace. I guess basta it was one Facebook group that's one of the Facebook groups that sells second-hand costumes. I don't remember which one. Pero meron it was a lingerie set, ganyan. Tapos probably malamang nasuot na yon and all ganyan. So I don't know if someone bought.
Huwag mo nang ibenta kasi hello!
OMG!
Pero ayun, pero it's there.
Yeah, even
I
Pink
just-
said sa marketplace din daw niya nakita. Yan ang
We might have seen the same, we might have
Yeah.
seen the same outfit. I'm not sure. Pero we might have.
Yung akala mo very advantageous ang MCS and the modern community, in the new community. Kung ganyan din lang yung makikita mo, parang, I mean, I kind of feel pity kasi for the new ones. What if they see it and they think it's okay because it was approved? Diba?
Yeah.
For us na ang tatanda na natin, we would say, why? But for the younger ones, oh, I think it's okay because basta linisan mo or you just bleach it. Kasi I saw it in marketplace eh. It's the misconception for the newer generations.
Kasi parang, it's like, are you going to sell your second-hand underwear? Like, hello?
OMG. Anyhow, so, now this naman, I want this as like the ender question before we talk about something else. What were your learnings? Kasi like what are the learnings that you've learned throughout your cosplay journey that you want to impart to the old and to the new generation? Kasi like you've been like a decade or almost a decade. Ang haba ng journey. What were
Yes,
your
by learning, I learned, kasi before, I was really gung-ho in cosplay. Like, I felt like lagi may
Mhm.
That's why, I always have that. And then realize as you grow older, you learn that you will have other priorities. Na, iisip yung buhay mo sa cosplay lang. Pero may that present. You also have to
I can't hear you well, tita. Wait.
Okay?
Yes. Okay na.
Ayun, ulitin ka lang. Wag mo don't revolve your in cosplay alone.
Mhm.
That's one of my learning. Yeah, it's, cosplay will always be here. Kasi ito na this is the good thing about cosplay. Since the mainstream na siya, it will always be. So you don't necessarily have to focus all of your attention on cosplay. So, yeah, it's still your passion. Pero if you feel like you need to take a rest, take a rest for a while, then come back when you're ready. Kasi, if you revolve yourself around it too much, then you won't realize the other things. So there's one thing that I learned from cosplay is that it will always be a hobby of mine that I will always love, and even if I don't cosplay that much, I still can go back.
Mhm.
I can always go back to it. And then I can, and since I don't revolve my life around it that much anymore, I can do things outside of the hobby. I can learn more new things outside of the hobby. Kasi hindi nag-revolve na dun yung if you focus too much on one thing, you will never have growth.
Yeah. That's a nice one. Kasi like, I think, I kind of get the point. Kasi, if you revolve too much sa cosplay, pag too much yung investment mo, tas yun nga, as what you said, kahit sa isang fandom, pag nawala yan sa'yo, and it becomes very stressful that you feel pressure every time na, ay, dapat I have to cosplay. Wherein, as what you said, even for me, it's been a long time since I've brought out an output. Kasi, for me, it's my mood eh. Like, if I'm not feeling inspired, I'm not feeling motivated, ang pangit if you're just gonna, like, go kasi sasabihin mo, wala pa akong output for like, almost a year na wala akong nilalabas. It's the pressure that it's gonna become a toxic to yourself until you're gonna begin to hate the fandom or the community.
Totoo yan. And don't be too hard on yourself. Like, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, for example, hindi mo na
Mhm. Tita Sese, nawala ka.
Ha?
Nawala ka.
Hello?
Yeah, meron na. We
Okay,
heard
sorry.
the don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. And, don't be too hard on yourself na, kunyari, wala ka they move for that day. It's okay. Because not all the time you have to be perfect.
Mhm. Yeah, precisely.
Not all the time you have to be that accurate.
Mhm.
That's why I said don't be too hard on yourself. Even if you are the type of cosplayer na competitive and you join competition, it's okay that if you don't win all the time, it's okay to lose. It's okay to take a rest.
Self-love. How about you, Miki?
Sa akin naman nun, ano ba? Siguro kasi, ever since before, kasi I'm bad at handling people. Then, I am someone who generally loses my energy when I'm meeting up with a lot of people. Until now naman. Pero I think one thing that I learned from being in the cosplay community for a very long time is exactly how to handle people. And lalo na yung iba't ibang, kasi you're gonna meet a lot of different people in the cosplay community. May bata, may matanda, may toxic, may hindi, may dramatic, merong walang kailam sa mundo. So ano siya talaga, there's a lot of people that you're gonna meet. Iba-ibang personality, and eventually, syempre, if you've been around long enough, well, you have to learn how to handle them, especially when they're difficult people, which is something na ako personally I was able to use when it came to my work, my career. Ngayon, my current job right now really entails me to talk to different people, and I think yung naging experience ko sa cosplay community is actually helping me a lot when it comes to my current job. And kahit yung previous jobs ko pa, it's very hard to find people who will actually be your friends for life or people that you can actually trust. And when you actually do meet them, ano talaga siya, kumbaga, ma-appreciate mo talaga sila eh. So,
Yeah, keep them. Keep those kind of people.
yeah, you keep them. Na ano siya talaga, kumbaga, do not take your friends for granted, yung mga ganon.
Exactly.
Take your friends for granted kasi even though hindi na sila nagko-cosplay, even if you're, for example, like me, I have this friend that I've been friends with for more than a decade na din, na we met through cosplay, iba na yung fandom niya ngayon. I don't know if you're watching this, I love you. She's into BTS right now and other fandoms, ganyan. Pero even though hindi na kami masyadong nagswak sa fandom, I still love her so much. We still talk, we still chat. And yun, if you're watching, I'm just gonna be dramatic, but I love you.
Ayun, sa community, doon mo na makikita eh. Like, one thing I learned from my being part of this right now, kasi sila talagang genuine. Kasi I'm always forever grateful. And I know you're there in the chat. Nakikita ko kayo. I love you. May tita. So, I'm very lucky na until now, we're solid group of friends. That even kahit ngayon na hindi na ako masyado nagko-cosplay, like your friend, I mean another fandom, hindi nga ng BTS. Hindi lang BTS. I'm an AP and I'm an SB19. If you see my time, yun na lang ang lagi laman, yun na lang, sila na lang lagi laman ng timeline ko. Pero, but still, we're still good friends kahit, kasi, ano yan eh, hindi lang naman yung anime, manga, or yung reason why you became friends eh. Na-develop yan.
Yes. But it's like, it starts from there. It's the common ground. Pero kayo na yung bahala. You can keep it in a different ways. How about you, Nico? What are your learnings?
What are my learnings?
Throughout your otaku journey.
Ganito na lang, sabihin natin na I entered the cosplay community as a super really shy person. You cannot believe that now. Yes, I know that. It's unbelievable. Yes, I've accepted that. Pero before, I was really, really shy to the point na halos lahat ng cosplay ko or mga costume ko may mask. So I don't need to talk, so sign language na lang. Yung pick, diba? Point and shoot pa nga camera ko nun eh. And then now, I am a high-functioning introvert. As per my former boss.
Oh, pero at least like you developed a character out of it.
What do you mean I developed a character? I'm a photographer because of it. No, anyway.
You develop like a better character. Like that you don't talk much, you're kind of shy around people, and now like especially me, how I would react nung sinabi mong shy ka kasi I've never seen you as a shy person because I've never seen that side of you.
Yeah, so parang akong Pokemon. So I went from being a shelter to a cloister or something like that. I went from covering my face and just pointing around and whatever to hiding behind the camera and actually talking to the person on the other side of the lens.
Yeah.
But I'm still in costume.
Mm-hmm. So I think basically cosplay had changes for better and for worse. Pero after all the things that I've heard, parang we really cannot blame how the community turned out to be like this. Kasi 'di ba dati there were like only few people you only know who is who. Pero ngayon, the more that it is being accepted, the more that you would be expecting that different kinds of people would be entering the community, and we cannot gatekeep that. Because of course, we also want the community to grow big. Pero I think the one thing I've learned from that is you have to be very careful. And I would like to address yung sinabi ni Neo when sabi niya, ako, I make it a point to cosplay within my means. I think it's a very nice. Huwag mong ipilit kung hindi kaya.
Kasi I see a lot of the younger generation na parang hindi naman nila kaya kung saan yung cosplay nila, pinipilit pa rin.
Yeah.
Yun ang mali.
Saan ka
And try to choose your own gastos. Choose your own gastos talaga. Anong kailangan mo na i-prioritize?
Yeah. So, anyways, before we end our stream, kasi alam ko yung isa dyan may gagawin pa. Yeah. So, like, any last thoughts or ideas that you would want to, like, as a takeaway? Last famous last words.
I shall return ka.
Ay, oo, I shall return. You'll be seeing Nico for Photographer's Edition. Miki?
Gawin mo.
Miki, go muna!
Ang panghirap naman yung famous last words. Wait lang.
Akin eh. I shall
Hindi mo
return.
na paisip.
Oh, sige.
Ayan.
While you're
Mahirap naman
thinking...
yung I shall return ni Nico.
Okay, wait. While you're thinking what to say, may ipa-plug lang ako ng konti. So, actually, on November 2, I am able to invite a guest. Yun yung guest, which is she's the WCS representative of Myanmar, Ayanami Kojo, if you've seen her around Facebook. So, yung mga nakahula, yes, I'll DM you for that. And anyways, yeah, thank you for the chat kasi I think may nagalaw talaga ako na settings, and thank you for being patient for that kasi when they were like telling me na the sound was low a while ago, I was like checking what to do with Discord, and ayan, until it became okay. Thank you for that, for putting that on attention. So, I think, dami ko nang sinabi. Okay na ba yung famous last words niya?
It's not a famous last word for me. It's more like a reminder that appreciate what learning you will, whatever journey you are in this hobby, in cosplay. Appreciate everything. Know who your real friends are. know who the right people to approach to. And enjoy lang, chill lang. Kasi enjoy nila yung journey nyo. Kasi marami kayong matutunan. And even the hardships, even the heartaches na mararamdaman nyo sa hobby, i-accept nyo siya. Make it part of who you are, because it's going to build you as a person and as a mature person in the future. So, enjoy the journey, have fun,
Yes.
Ayun, sige. Sa akin, inisip ko na lang, tinatry kong tandaan kung ano yung pinost ko dun sa isang feature ko before. Basta parang, sabi ko kasi dun, I think I was saying something along the lines of, parang don't cosplay for fame. So, kumbaga, I know na a lot of people, kasi nga ngayon iba na yung culture, there are people na they think na cosplay is a way to be famous. Ganun, di ba? Pero, I just wish and I really hope na people don't cosplay because of that reason. Kasi nga, cosplaying talaga it's a hobby na built on passion and love for a character and a series. So, I just really hope that it stays that way. Kasi if you cosplay for the wrong reasons, tapos you don't get your desired outcome, you're gonna lose heart. You're gonna lose heart because of it. And yun nga, na sana lang tayo, cosplay for the right reasons. Cosplay because you're passionate about it, because you love the character, you love the series that you're cosplaying as, ganun. And kumbaga, cosplay for fun. As in the end talaga, cosplay because you love to cosplay, because you have fun when you're cosplaying. Because if you start losing the fun in the cosplay, ba't ka pa nagko-cosplay? Kung hindi ka na masaya, huwag mo na ituloy. Parang ganun ba? Pero yun lang talaga. I just wish na, yun nga, na people would start cosplaying, na set your hearts right Parang ganon. Alam ko, ang corny. Set your hearts right. Na parang when you cosplay, do it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Yun.
Yes,
How about
I
you,
agree.
Nico? Hindi applicable yung I shall return mo. So, kasi ibang segment yan eh. So, as for
Wala.
ngayon, cosplayer ka. Hindi ka muna photographer. So, ano yan?
If you're, like, when I entered cosplay, it's just for the fun of it, kasi I found it, like, nakakaliw to, Halloween every day, or well, anytime na may con. So, if you enter cosplay, if you decide to do cosplay, be clear on the why. So if it's for fun, just stick to the fun. If it's for money, then well, stick to that. And wag ka na makialam dun sa mga for fun, please naman.
Diba? Anyways, yeah, thank you for sparing me your time. Kahit guerrilla call ako minsan. Like, uy, ganito, ganyan. Really, thank you. Kahit na yung isa dyan, hindi talaga siya sa ganitong araw nagko-cosplay. Yung isa dyan, may inaabangan. Would you want to plug that, Tita Sese?
So, please vote SB19 for MTV. There's our only entry na Filipino for that. So, please vote. Multiple votes naman siya. Yun. So, please support our K-pop kings. Kasi for the future of the music industry, yan naman din natin ang mag-i-improve.
Yeah.
Kasi, like, come on, Southeast Asia naman sana ang ma-feature. Like, yung music na Southeast Asia naman ang ma-feature worldwide. It's about time, guys. It's about time.
How about you, Miki? Wanna plug something?
Sige, when it comes to plugging, sige. Syempre, yung page ko. So, yun lang, parang yung page ko, Miki Kun din siya. It's easy to find kasi it's my name. So, yun. Tapos naman nun, parang please support. Ganun. Please support the page. Tapos parang I try to dish out new content every week. I try at least. Ganun. So, ano lang naman, ano pa ba? Tapos ano pala, sorry, FYI, financial advisor ako. So, just in case, kung kailangan yung insurances, investments, you can actually also talk to me. Di lang halata.
Okay. Mga ano pala, like description, so the description below, you'd see the Facebook names, Instagram, Facebook page, mga guests. How about you, Niccolo? Anything you wanna plug?
I'd like to plug Pinoy Cosplay Spotlight kung gusto nyo ma-feature sa isang page. Yun, kami.
Sila po yun. So, if you really wanna be appreciated.
But you have to be Pinoy.
Application pala yun.
Alin.
Ay, sabagay kasi there's a lot of people who are shy. So, yes, guys, if you want to be featured and you know that your cosplay is worth to be featured, do contact Pinoy Cosplay Spotlight, or directly you can just ping Nico, or just ping the page Just Nico Photography. Anyways, so thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
Can I say one more thing? One last thing. Just want to encourage lahat ng mga tao na siopaw face din like me. So, kasi pag siopaw ka, if you have very big cheeks or a round face, it's perfectly okay to cosplay. Tapos kung gusto nyo namang if you want to do your siopaw face, may taping. There's a thing called face tape. So, yun lang.
Actually, I'm planning this in the future, pero Neo, pag andyan ka pa, Neo. Baka gusto mo namang mag-tutorial how you do your makeup because he's really good at it. I really wonder kung saan niya nakukuha yung sipag niya. I'll ping you one of the days. So, any pahabos?
Ako wala na.
Okay.
Well, here.
Okay. Now, anyway, chat, especially, let me just mention yung mga naging consistent. Antonio Bercasio, Shun, Seto Hime. Is this Ate Set?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and Shun, Lance here in the chat, and Kuya John, he does not want to be called Kuya, hi there, and of course Neo Infante, I love you too. Ping, Ping! Ito yung actually, every time, I really wanted na i-invite din siya, pero I'm so like, ang taas niya. Ang taas niya, di ko kaya. And also,
Biwas ko yan, that's my biwas.
oo nga eh. And Dukiza and Cozy, thank you for dropping by. And may na-miss out pa ba ako? Debbie and Tifa saying the Siopaw Cheek Supremacy. Yes. Okay. Now then, that ends our stream for today. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. I'll be pinging
Thank you, Ben. Sobra. Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Ben.
Thank
listening.
you.
And bye, guys.
May sinasabi ka, Nico.
Wala. Ginawa mo na akong agency.
Yes. So actually, you're out of the screen na. But anyways, thank you. I've learned a lot, especially first setup na vodka. So I was really nasanay ako sa gaming ko, but I really learned a lot from this. Thank you very much. I'll try to improve little by little on my next podcast. Naging experiment kayo, but I love you guys. You're still the best nevertheless. So I'll be ending the stream here. I'll see you on the next stream. Have a good day ahead. Bye-bye! Ayan, nag-end na ako. Ala, thank you talaga. Thank you.